Let me be clear. The TicWatch Pro 5 Enduro isn't a groundbreaking upgrade over the Pro 5, but it boasts a fitness-focused upgrade, significantly better battery life and some design tweaks inside and out. So whether you're a TicWatch Pro veteran or just someone craving a feature-packed smartwatch that can last for a week on a single charge, the Enduro might just be your new best friend. Before we geek out too much, because you know we will, let's smash that subscribe button and dive into this thing. Verdict at the end, as always. The box itself looks familiar, same old Pro 5 vibes, but with a few extra icons hinting at the Enduro's extra features. First thing that jumps out, the watch faces, a whopping 7,000 plus compared to the Pro 5's 1,000 plus. Talk about choice overload. Inside we got the usual suspects, watch, charging cable and a manual, no surprises here. But the watch itself, now that's where things get interesting. It instantly hits you with this Pro 5's sleek, lightweight design, but something's definitely different here. Let's dig in and see what's changed compared to the Pro 5, highlighting what's new and what's carried over. The Enduro isn't a radical redesign, it's got the same rugged look we know from standard Pro 5, but with a few tweaks. Believe it or not, it's actually a tad thinner than the Pro 5, even though it's a touch heavier, but the difference is barely perceptible on your wrist. The bezel is the first thing that jumps out. It's smoother now, ditching the Pro 5's rough texture. I gotta say, I dig the new subtler design, but hey, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? The real star of the show though is the crown. This thing got a major upgrade. It's bigger, smoother and way easier to navigate. You know, that fiddly crown on the Pro 5? Yeah, this one blows it out of the water. Now, the Enduro borrows the Pro 5 speaker and microphone, so you can still make clear calls from your wrist. Both watches also share a 5 ATM water resistant rating, which means swimming is totally fine. Think of it as everyday confidence, sweat, rain, even a dip in a pool. This watch can handle it. And yes, I took it for a swim, no surprises there. It did great, plus the Enduro has a cool trick. After a swim exercise, it automatically blasts water out of the speaker and microphone holes. Just a heads up for the scuba divers. Though the 5 ATM rating means swimming is good, but deep dives are a no-go. The included band has a grippy texture too, which is a nice touch for those intense workouts. It keeps the strap from clinging to your sweaty skin, but hey, you can always swap it out for any standard 24mm band if you want a different look. So that's the basic rundown of the design. We've got some refinements, a nice new crown and all the essentials for everyday wear and workouts. Not bad, right? Now, the main event, battery life. This is where the Enduro truly throws down the gauntlet. Mobvite claims a massive improvement over the Pro 5, which estimates reaching 90 hours in the smart mode and a crazy 45 days in essential mode, which, let's be real, who uses the fancy smartwatch just for the time? Here's the thing, even though it has the same 628 mAh battery as the Pro 5, the Enduro blows the competitors like the Galaxy Watch and Apple Watch Ultra out of the water. Metaphorically, of course. This smart mode automatically switches to a low power state when you sleep or take it off for a while. This is the secret sauce that extends the battery life like crazy. For me, the smart mode was the sweet spot. You can set it to essential mode at night, like I did from 10 PM to around 7 AM. In my test, smart mode uses about 1 to 2% battery overnight, and with everything running during the day, health tracking, phone connected, uses around 16 to 18%. That also depends on how much GPS you use. Those are seriously good results for a smartwatch. The Enduro also throws in fast charging for good measure. Just 30 minutes gets you the whole 2 days of juice. Perfect for those mornings when you forget to charge or need a pre-workout boost. The watch keeps the Pro 5's dual display system, which is pretty cool. A low power screen for always on time and a brighter AMOLED display for everything else. But here's the good news for all you adventurers out there. The Enduro upgrades to a scratch-resistant sapphire crystal glass on the main display, just like an Apple Watch Ultra. big points for durability. The familiar watch faces from the Pro 5 are here, along with a few new ones to keep things fresh. You can even go down the rabbit hole and create your own with the Timeshow app, but that feels a little extra, at least for me. No change in display resolution or brightness this time around, but user interface gets a sweet upgrade, especially for fitness enthusiasts. Remember those tiny numbers on the Pro 5 that were impossible to read during a run? Gone. Speaking of workouts, the Enduro comes loaded with a whopping 110 sports modes, from your basic runs to some pretty wild stuff like rock climbing and horseback riding. The interface is nicely laid out, prioritizing popular activities for easy access. Plus, as I already mentioned, they bumped up the fun side again, making it a breeze to check your stats during a workout. So no more squinting at tiny numbers, which is another win in my book. Now, step counting accuracy is a personal obsession of mine. I gotta tell you, I put every watch through the ringer on this one. So I grabbed my trusty clicker counter, the old school kind, and decided to put the Enduro to the test. There's an option to wait for GPS before starting a workout, but let's be honest, who has time for that? GPS usually catches up anyway, and besides, it takes like 10 to 30 seconds depending on where you are. Not a big deal. So I'm trying to trick the Enduro here, right? Fast steps on the stairs, short stride, long strides, I threw everything at it. The usual mix to see if it messes up. Well, guess what? It matched all 1000 clicks on the counter perfectly. No joke, this is the first watch that hasn't gotten tripped up in my test. Seriously, impressive stuff. The watch also throws in a neat little feature during workouts: heart rate zones displayed through changing backlight colors. No more squinting to see if you are in the warm-up zone or pushing in cardio. Blue for rest, green for warm-up, and so on. It's all color-coded for easy monitoring. You can keep an eye on your training zone with just a glance, which is perfect for keeping your workout on track. Let's dive into health tracking. This is where things get interesting for all your fitness guys. First up, heart rate. I put the Enduro to the test against the real deal, a medical grade pulse oximeter, the fancy kind doctors use. No crazy surprises here, just like the Pro 5, the readings are impressively accurate, like almost identical. By the way, it tracks your heart rate continuously, but you can switch to on demand if you're really strapped for battery life. SpO2, that fancy term for oxygen levels, also gets a thumbs up. You can set it to track you throughout the day, and it gives you a cool little graph to see how your oxygen levels fluctuate. It might not be a medical diagnosis tool, but it's neat to see the trends. Now, the Enduro doesn't measure the blood pressure, which is a bummer, but it does cover the core stuff: heart rate, SpO2, stress levels, and even sleep tracking. While I can't exactly dissect my sleep cycles under a microscope, the sleep scores seem to match up with how I feel each morning. Bonus points for the Enduro. On the top of that, it keeps tabs on all your daily activity: steps, distance, calories burned, even those sneaky stairs you climb throughout the day. Under the hood, the Enduro mirrors the Pro 5 with Wear OS 3.5 and the Snapdragon W5 Plus Gen 1. Now, while Wear OS 3.5 runs smoothly, it's past its prime. Wear OS 4 is already out and 5 is on the horizon, potentially leaving you without some future features. Bummer, right? There's a talk of a Wear OS 4 beta for the Pro 5, but the Enduro's upgrade path is unclear. But hey, don't click away just yet. Here's the good news for the fitness folks. The Enduro finally plays nice with all those third-party apps we love: Strava, Adidas Running, etc, etc. Plus, the low-power display can actually show you more data than some of those apps themselves, like calories burned, altitude, etc, etc. All that without draining the main battery too much. That's pretty cool. So let's wrap things up. The Pro 5 Enduro isn't exactly a mind-blowing upgrade over the Pro 5, but for budget-minded users, this thing is a champion. That's why I'm giving it a solid 9 out of 10. But hold on a sec, no smartwatch is perfect. You won't find fancy blood pressure monitoring here, and the software's a bit behind the times with Wear OS 3.5. But before you peace out, hear me out. For the price, this thing is stacked. The Enduro feels like a real upgrade, not some cheap knockoff. Tons of workout modes, a tougher display that can handle your crazy adventures, and a much smoother crown. No more fumbling like the Pro 5. And the battery life, it absolutely destroys the competition. No question, it's earned a permanent spot in my top 3 everyday watches. The revamped TicHealth app makes managing your fitness data a breeze, and it works with all the big name apps too. Here's the thing though, most other features are pretty much the same as the regular Pro 5, so if you already got one, an upgrade probably isn't necessary. If you're craving the newest Wear OS or need cellular connectivity, this might not be your best friend. But if your old TicWatch is ready for retirement or you're looking to switch from another Android smartwatch, the Enduro is definitely worth a look. It's a great smartwatch, especially for fitness guys who need battery life that goes the distance. Maybe you're like me, don't care about the latest software updates and you just want a smartwatch that lasts forever. This is your jam. Plus, and this is a bonus for any TicWatch fans out there, the Enduro works seamlessly with Mob Voice treadmills. You know, the ones we tore into in that videos with my wife last year. If you missed it, there's a link in the description below. Anyway, this watch is a great companion on a treadmill, keeping track of your heart rate and all the good stuff. Ultimately, the best to know if it's your perfect match is to try it out for yourself. I've linked to all the details down below in the description. By the way, Mob Voice sent me this watch to review for free. There were no strings attached, no pressure to sugarcoat anything, no pay involved. Just wanted to share my honest thoughts, and you know what? I actually like this watch. It's one of the 3 I wear most often depending on the situation. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys on the next one.